is a stupid dope mix.
Hello and good evening, everyone out there. This is the lovely and beautiful melanin anomaly queen, Miss Kyoko Cane, and welcome to the Daystar Voyage with your glamorous lieutenant herself, where we discuss about topics about animation and family entertainment media and nostalgia affecting our livelihood and how it can be portrayed throughout our lives. Yes, I am so glad to be able to get this video down at once. I was in such a major funk ever since getting some life and having to get through a lot of stuff in my life that's been happening recently. And I feel a lot better to talk about this. The thing that happened to me was tooth extraction. Yuck. Well, it's time to get really bloody and talk about that because it is now Halloween season. Yes, so happy October to everyone out there, be it from old or new subscribers out there. And we're going to be discussing one of my favorite and beloved, most treasured Disney animated shows that just recently ended, I think about a couple of years or a year ago, I think, called The Ghost and Molly Mcgee. Yes. And I do understand this has been a very season that's been talked about ever since on YouTube and social media out there, and it's well praised for its diverse cast, colorful characters, great comedy, and peak great storytelling and cultural representation, and also pretty much ethnic authenticity and original writing. Yes. And also a lot of people with a lot of great accounts did talk about the show and highly praised it too also. And we're going to get down to that too, and I'm so excited for it. So Kyoko Cane on the Daystar Voyage, let's go with our first segment. Now, we're going to kick off this whole video is the synopsis. When you watch the first episode, you basically see like the ghost zone and how pretty much how dreary and gloomy it looks compared to another scene that we're going to get to in a minute. It follows pretty much Scratch in this very moment where like he just got banned from the ghost world for his bad activities, and now he's pretty much punished by the ghost council and higher ups of the whole ghost dimension that you're seeing right now. Basically it really much follows like the misadventures when after that he's pretty much banished to like a home on Earth that's called Brighton. But yeah, he gets the time to be punished and haunts around pretty much one of the houses in the neighborhood. And then in comes enter the Mcgee family, which is based basically from Pete, Sharon, the parents of the main character, Molly Mcgee, and Daryl Mcgee, the pretty much siblings of the whole show. Molly Mcgee is pretty much just this character who's just pretty much a lighthearted, fun-loving, quirky, just giddy, eccentric, energetic character, which is going to be basically, she's all about life, preserving the forest, being good-natured towards once and all, making new friends, and now she's being welcomed to like a neighborhood where pretty much she wants to make really great friends, be it from like her classroom and trying to be with the hardships of being a new girl in town, along with her rebellious, ne'er-do-well brother named Daryl, which is pretty much like he's the rebel of the family, the con artist personality attitude, which is also the voice actress of Steven Universe, Amethyst. Her voice actress named Michelle Dietz. Really great job of her character. Both characters also too. Along with Molly Mcgee, her voice actress is the name of Ashley Birch, who's also did a great character from OKKO, who did Enid. Yes, I wanted to put that out there. But yeah, they pretty much go around the misadventures when Molly Mcgee takes the room in the attic. She sees like the ghost Scratch. They become very pretty much ice cold to like warm-hearted characters, going on certain misadventures throughout the whole thing, throughout episodes constantly, and you see like them building up a really proper friendship and just building up those layers of trying to be able to just like get to know each other. Along the way, the misadventures, be it from funny to sad to encouraging, while getting to see new faces. Along with the casting of colorful characters that come along the way, when Molly Mcgee goes to like her first day of school, she meets like Andrea Davenport, head of pretty much her parents being like part of this great conglomerate that sponsors like a lot of electronic merchandise and pretty much just like being the more popular girl in school, the rich girl turned ice queen turned pretty much just like good girl at heart of gold, basically, and considerate to others as the show runs. And then you see like a whole cast of characters such as Libby, also one of my favorite characters too. She is also like the bread and butter, who is someone that I pretty much love, love, love with all my heart. Protect Libby Stein Torres, voiced by the amazing, talented, and beautiful anime voice actress herself, Laura Miller. I'll put her up also, who does the voice actress of many favorite cartoons for our whole nostalgia, and also many anime such as Digimon, also known as who plays the voice of Hikari Kamiya, aka Kari Kamiya in the English dub. Highly recommend her performance in Digimon, the dub itself, because she did a really good, amazing, just badass, flourishing, flawless job. Yes. But anyway, back to the Molly McGee session. I do feel like along the way when you see all these characters just mashing together and also get to know each other and build like friendship relationships, you see like a lot of great new characters coming to the fray of each season, and how pretty much how each person can share the certain spotlights of different scenarios in the show, and it really shows that they are able to shine on their own, be it from having a joke being shared, be it from a certain gag being made fun of, or a reference being part of the episode or scene. And it really shows that really does do everyone justice when like the spotlight is not just not being hogged on certain characters. And that I really love about Molly McGee, because it takes time to be able to just like let certain characters flourish. Along with another show like Amphibia and Haley's on It, rest in power, and also numerous shows that I found one of my favorites too. But Amphibia was really great with how it writes itself and not letting certain characters who are main characters hog up like certain spotlight, and letting the supporting cast characters be fleshed out a little bit more, and also giving them like their spotlight, be it from comedy and any aspect of the show that contributes towards the lore and world building. And it was really good, and that's why it's one of my favorites too. Along with Modern McGee with its comedies and also good morals and messaging towards kids and everybody for adults. And that's why I feel like this show really ages well in that aspect too, along with Amphibia. Because I do feel like those two very shows really age well and like for the general and modern audience, and it really did make a really great franchise amongst themselves too also. And I am still waiting for some Molly McGee merch or a book or something or a continuation of the story too. So let's just pray and show support and keep talking about the show Molly McGee along with any other Disney animation. On to the second part. Okay, let's see. The pacing, direction, and diaspora throughout the show. I do feel like it did carry well throughout the whole show, because it did talk about certain messaging and certain topics about the show coming from like home income, taking care of your own selves, and also being dealing with like school, peer pressure, social anxiety, anxiety in general, or having to deal with like your heritage and holiday theme stuff. And I really did feel like at certain times they really did touch up on really great aspects. A lot of some really great heavy topics that are not even talked about today in this very day and age or in this generation now. And I do feel like Molly McGee, it was one of those shows that pretty much really did took the knife and hammer and nail and knocked it out of the park and nailed it. And it really just shows that how much the creators pretty much implicated so many of the great heavy topics in the show, and certain characters taking like those messages and making viewers and fans relate to like the characters and make them feel so like transparent to the point where like everybody can feel for this character and everybody can just like feel for the characters in certain matters in certain episodes, or laugh for the character because they made a funny joke. And let me tell you now, all the comedy is peak at this point, along implementing deep topics in the show, because like the Libby episode dealing with her stage fright, because you can overcome that and wash it off the duck's back, because it can happen to you and it can happen to anybody else who watches the show or relate to characters in episodes that talked about some really great topics that we should discuss. And not to mention something lighthearted. I do feel like the comedy was really great. You have that really slapstick effect. The way the characters do like those certain aspects and take that certain routine and just exaggerate it and then land it with a joke was really great. Coming from their facial features being over exaggerated and contorted, funniest way possible. Having to like Scratch being the voice of Diana Schneider, who does the voice of Master Shake for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I mean, can you believe that? One of the most funniest characters throughout the show has the most funniest voices, and every time he opens his mouth, it's just like, wow, we having a If you watch Ugly Hunger Force, just watch it with a parent or an adult at school. Don't watch it by yourself, kid. Now, on to the aspect of the Diaspora. I do feel like in the future episode, when you get to like season 2 or 3, there is one episode where we introduce like the cousins of the Mcgee family, in which like the cousins come through, I think, on Sharon's side. You get to see like her Thai heritage and her culture being implemented into the show, which I am so glad that we get to see like really great cultural representation and appreciation towards like her heritage, coming from a character in which like I can relate to her because I was always so proud of my African heritage to myself and celebrated my blackness and my beautiness and my melaniness as you see in my cosplays and pretty much incorporating that too also. But to see Molly McGee struggle with her inner turmoil of how to not pronunciate or learn like Thai language and accent, and also being like not authentically Thai or Asian enough, it's a really struggle for any of us out there to be able to just like be their authentic self and learn about their own heritage if they're not good enough for that aspect, and being born into like a certain area in like a certain country they had to move to, or even the United States for that matter, and having the English tongue. And it makes me feel for her because you get to see like her cousin, I think Julie, pretty much is such a lovable little rascal, and her family side of Sharon pretty much confide in Molly McGee, telling them about their many negative traits about how they could have overcome like their Thai culture and if they're good enough and their insecurities. And I really glad it really shows to like the modern audience that, because you get to see like the many flaws of how pretty much they're all coming to out of their own insecurities that make you relate to them and be able to just like so they could like grow together at that matter. And let me tell you now, Thai cuisine food is really great. I love me some pad Thai. I could chow down on some pad Thai. Look at me talking about food. I'm getting hungry right now. And you also have the grandma of the family on the Thai side of the Sharon side of the family. How you should just honor the ghost that you're pretty much familiar with, because you have to offer like a tiny house towards that to be able to have a good intentions. And I'm so glad for the grandma of the family to flesh out the character, because you get to see like some great cultural representation throughout the whole show and some spiritualism within that, and how to honor the supernatural, which is also a great effect towards the show too also. And now thinking about it, it shows great spiritualism of how pretty much it affects the world of Molly McGee, because the grandma great gave good insight towards Molly McGee how you should treat the paranormal and supernatural. And the cultural appreciation is really like top peak and top notch when it comes down to creators studying about different topics about Thai culture. You also see like the spirit house thing. I think it's called like, and it's called San Fry Fum. I hope I'm correcting it right. But if I ever correct it wrong, I'll just put up a whole dang synopsis and scenario about it though. And it's really great, good insight. So I'm gonna read it out loud. Thai spirit houses believed to bring fortune across Thailand. People place gifts for spirits they believe will bless a home or business. The tradition has been around since ancient times and is still widely practiced today. And I do feel like those type of things really do matter in the show, because it does carry out so well, and it carries out to the point where it's so fluid, to the point where like it does carry out those spiritual aspects without the show, and how it affected like the ghost world, and also how Molly McGee also going from ghost form to like being possessed, and also the other characters doing the same thing from like the kids too also in their misadventures. And now we're gonna get to our conclusion of the show, because I have to pretty much get off this Daystar Voyage, because now after finish editing this whole video and getting my stuff done on the daily basis of life, I do feel like after when I rewatch the show and finish it, I will make some future videos coming out soon whenever I can, depending on my scheduling is, and over analyzing the whole show. I do feel like the one aspect they did pretty much knock down at the park was this one aspect of the new characters within the show. I think one, which Molly McGee had a crush on, which is named Ollie, going to like his whole redemption arc of trying to like not be able to just antagonize Scratch for that matter. And having to build up that background and how to be able to face his fears, and also his redemption of how to be able to just like overcome his inner turmoil and how he perceives ghosts. And one thing I would like to edit on this is the fact that Molly's cousin is named Emmy, which also shows like proper cultural representation that I just talked about from before. But Ollie's sister, who I relate towards as such, her name is June, who also is on the spectrum of autism. The sister of Ollie Chan, one of the newest characters, has pretty much autism, or on the spectrum for that matter. And this radiates with me because I am too with the autism spectrum, and I have been born with ADHD to the point where like I am too so glad I could just branch out by myself, just like Junie, Ollie's sister, and she's like this whole ray of sunshine herself, who could be able to just like come up with these crazy inventions how to capture the ghosts and also pretty much dedicate to like the story too. Also, it's just like the little things of like good representation and cultural appreciation and also diversity to commemorate all the characters and show such growth and development to like certain topics. And I relate to her character too also. And I'm so glad that we also had like, a great ride of characters having to be able to be picked out, having to show their interests and their pros and cons, and how they pretty much interpreted it with their personality affecting the show too also. And it shows like the creators really did have like great intentions of how to make a really good show that focuses on forgiving, taking your chances, make mistakes, and getting messy along the way. And also giving people a chance and don't judge a book by its cover. And not to mention the fact it does reminiscences of the art style of All Real Monsters, like the original Nickelodeon show back in the 90s, along with like the hints of, I think, this one video game called Disgaea, which is also a really great strategic game if you want to get down to that also. And from a fan and viewer like you and me, I'm so glad that we could be able to just have like this conversation. We could discuss about it on the comment and section, just discuss about the many topics. Or if I had gotten a name wrong, I'd be able to just go back onto it. We could discuss about it fluidly, like adults, because that's what the journey is all about in this channel. Just self-improvement and just having good intakes and insight. And also, one thing I like to put in and edit onto this very topic is the fact that Molly Mcgee has taught so much great topics of pretty much from autism to cultural appreciation that they just absolutely gave such a home run on those deeper topics that no other Disney show since the release of one show, The Owl House and also Amphibia, had hit a home run on. Because you know, when you reminisce and also first watch the show, you feel like such gravitating towards like the characters and you can relate to them on those scenarios when you watch like future episodes of the series itself and you want more of it, which I hope everyone out there just praise the show on doing that because they really did a great job. I am truly grateful for Bill Roth and Bob Roth to be able to just like make characters that you could just like gravitate and relate to when you first watch a show and reminisce and either rewatch it and just be able to show that you could be able to just do that and we could discuss those topics. And I hope you everyone out there subscribe and like, comment, and subscribe positively. And also, because don't hate, appreciate, this is a safe zone for all artists and pretty much shippers, whatever you call yourself as such, whatever pronouns and LGBT, etc. And that having been said, I do hope everyone has a wonderful evening out there. Have a great, 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 beautiful, happy Halloween. Whether you celebrate the holiday or not, stay safe, drink plenty of water, have a lovely, discussed evening, and let's just like stay safe in the world and spread good intentions and just like talk about it like young adults or like-minded people. So this is the Melanin Anomaly. So, having that being said, thank you for joining the Melanin Anomaly, Miss Kyoko Cane herself, on the Daystar Voyage, where we talk about pretty much livelihood affected by pop culture and also animation, nostalgia topics. I hope everyone out there have a lovely afternoon or day wherever you are out in the world and having a wonderful evening. So, signing out, good luck, and have a great one. Peace out.